I am sure that by now you've heard the news that Chattanooga is going to be hosting the Bluegrass, what am I calling it, Randy Steele?
IBMA.
IBMA. I'm having to look to make sure I get my letters right. This is Randy Steele, and he knows everything about bluegrass music. He is world-class, world-renowned, and so we're having two conversations this morning, really, because September 15th, 16th.
September 16th through the 20th.
Is when?
Is IBMA is coming to town, which is the International Bluegrass Music Association. We're having a big festival with a couple of big festivals on Fridays and Saturdays. They're having a business conference that happens, the award ceremony that's coming. I don't know if you saw Billy Strings is coming to town,
Yeah.
Steve Martin's coming to town. It seems like every week there's like some new revelation of some crazy happening during IBMA week, so I'm really excited.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, and you know they put out just this week they put out the you know, where everybody's going to be playing and what times. So I've been making my strategic, you know, Saturday trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to be at the shows I want to be at. It's going to be hard to hit all of them, but.
So our conversation, we'll get back to the IBMA part of it in a minute, but I've used that as the lead-in because right in sync with that, I mentioned Randy's, he's pretty much a legend in your own right, I think.
I wouldn't say that.
I will say that, I'll brag on you, but very highly respected. Recently retired from the fire department.
That's correct.
So you had to do something, and you have brought out a Barrelhouse Ballroom on Tuesdays, these free bluegrass lessons. Is that it?
Yeah, well, it's an open bluegrass jam, and what we do is we do every Tuesday. It started off as just a summer thing. We were like, hey, let's just play some bluegrass in the summer and start this jam out. Amber Carrington at Barrelhouse and I had been discussing this for a year. We talked about trying to do it last year and it didn't work out. And so we've been talking about it all winter. And we came up with a couple of different ideas, and then the one that we proposed is the one that we're doing now, which is it goes from 6 to 9. At 6:30 we have a beginner jam or an open jam, and it's an 8-song set. It takes about an hour to go from 6:30 to 7:30 to get through that set. We take it real easy and slow. It's really songs that people mostly know, like Will the Circle Be Unbroken. So, you know, they're not very difficult songs to play. They're very easy. They're almost, if you know how to play a G, a C, a D in your respective instrument, then you're probably going to be good to go.
Okay.
You know, for the most part.
Okay.
When we do like a breakdown of the song beforehand, and so that jam goes from 6:30 to 7:30, and it's kind of more like a classroom. It's really like it's basically like what you would imagine your kids' instrument classes are. Like there's one guy up top and we're talking songs, and then we're just all playing together. There's no amplification. There's nothing like that. It's not a stage. It's really just on the floor.
A true musician's jam.
Yeah, it's a jam. There's no really performance aspect of what we're doing. And then at 7:30 is when the open jam starts, and then they basically just gave us the run of Barrelhouse Ballroom and said, just play bluegrass wherever you want. So we just go all over the place. We have jams happening inside, outside. Really, that depends on how many bass players we have, is how many jams we have.
They're the key, huh?
They're the key, yeah, that's the secret.
So is it right that you have people of all ages coming? You've got 12-year-old kids and 82-year-old kids at heart.
I would say that that's definitely the case. We definitely have kids coming, and they're enjoying especially in the very beginning, because there's a lot of people who are learning. So we have a lot of young fiddle players. We have a lot of young guitar players. And, you know, Billy Strings has really inspired a whole lot of young guitar players. So we have a bunch of like kind of Billy Strings fans coming up, which is great. You know, more bluegrass, the better. And then we also have the old timers who have been playing bluegrass forever and just love being a part of it. We have a guy named Randy that drives up from Cleveland every Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you talk about like soul music, you have to kind of feel that in a certain way. Jazz, same thing. With bluegrass, do you tend to have to feel the music in a certain way to play bluegrass well?
You know, I would say the feeling that you'll see it in this jam. People will be sitting around playing, and it's fun. Everything feels like it's kind of mashing or whatever, but it's not until a bass player steps in and starts holding down the 1 and the 3, and a mandolin player really starts hitting that 2 and the 4, you start to feel that rhythm of the string band instrument, like the string band rhythm, which is all this shared rhythm, which is so much fun to be a part of. That's where the real true feeling comes in. That's just my perspective.
You know, all you're doing is counting out, and my foot was already tapping. How old were you when you first picked up the banjo?
I was actually in my 20s. I'd played guitar since I was a kid, but I put the guitar down for a couple years, and I picked it up after Christy and I had been married for a few years before we had kids. So I was about probably 24, maybe 24, 25. And I fell in love with it.
Do you have memories as a kid, though, of listening to bluegrass music?
Oh, yeah. My grandfather was a big bluegrass fan, and he really he loved listening, but he couldn't quite play. So he always instilled, try to play this. And he was a big Martin guitar guy. So yeah, bluegrass was a part of my, childhood growing up.
We're going to hold you over to play for us a song I think that you wrote about Christy.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's about Christy.
Okay.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I heard you mention the redhead
She's
from
got
Southeast Tennessee. That's his wife, Christy. Okay, but will you drum us out a little bit?
Sure,
will you play something while they show it?
Want to win some cash from our